What is up, guys? Tier Beatdown coming at you from the epicenter of the Corona fucking quarantine, ground zero. And I am stuck at home, and apparently, like many of us. So I hope you're doing well. Hopefully, you're somebody working, and if not, you got some stuff saved up. So I'm home. I'm not doing anything, so I figured I'd just make a video. Today, I just wanted to talk about a band that was, I say this every video, but this was like another band that I really liked when I was younger. I don't hear anybody talking about it. Of course, generally that's because it's, hardcore is on underground subculture. Not many people know about it. And so like I always say, I'd rather have somebody more people know about these bands than not, because I'm not a hardcore guy hipster. So I'd rather more than less. That's not always true, but in many cases, yes. I want people to know about these bands, right? So today I'm going to be talking about IRATE. So their name now is IRATE NYC. I guess they had some kind of issue with, I want to say, a punk band from California that had their name IRATE. It might have been a hardcore band. I couldn't find any other group with this name, so I can't confirm, verify. I have no idea. I just know that they changed the name, I think, officially to IRATE NYC. I know them and will always call them just IRATE because that's what I grew up. That's just no. That it's IRATE. So if you've never heard of this band, so I call them a hardcore band, but I only say they're a hardcore band because generally they would play with all these, this was part of the beatdown scene, right? So the thing with IRATE, as opposed to other bands like Billy Club Sandwich, I don't think we've made a video about that, or I haven't made a video about that at all. About them, but they're another band from the Bronx that was part of the whole, beatdown hardcore scene. The thing with IRATE that made them different was their proficiency with their instruments. Like, they were really good musicians, and that's not to say, obviously, like bands like Billy Club and Full Blown Chaos were not talented guys, but IRATE took, again, that sort of crossover death metal and hardcore that sort of like something like Napalm Death did, and again Bulldoze and all the earlier bands did, but took it up to another level in terms of musicianship. So a lot of their music, they had like leads, and they were the metallic. It was, that shit is metal. It's New York City metal. It's, they got they got 2 records. I think there was their second album, which I never actually got to listen to. I think I was not listening to hardcore as often as I was when this album came out, I think, and so I never really listened to it. My album is 1134. That shit, oh my god, it's such a good record. Anyway, I'm getting off the topic, but their proficiency in the way they played their instruments, like they played like a metal band, but they were a hardcore band, and they had the aesthetic of it was like a Boogie Down Crew type of shit, fitteds, the New York Yankee fitteds and the shit, if you a tough guy hardcore band, it's like that's what they look like, right? The cool part about them was, again, they had this sort of unapologetically metal sound with an urban, nested in this urban New York grit that you don't get that from a lot of metal bands. Like they'll be from New York, but you don't see it like that. Like it's like mixing Madball and Deicide, which is very obvious. Like Phil, the lead singer, I mean, at least to me, I mean, he very much sounds like Glenn Benton. That's just there's just no way, or like he's got that sort of similar guttural style, and it's very very reminiscent of Deicide, and I fucking love that band, especially growing up. I love Deicide. Like the new stuff, not so much, but I mean, it's still good. But the old shit, like Once Upon the Cross and Serpents of the Light, and how the hell am I gonna forget the album with Keiko Demonico, whatever, I can't remember it. But they sort of really brought it up a notch in terms of like I feel like they're on par with E-Town Concrete. Like I know a lot of people think they're bad, I guess, but you know, a lot of people talk shit about them, but I love E-Town, and them, like their proficiency was so good. Like their that second album, Second Coming, was like, holy shit. Like, how do you mix this really proficient heavy metal sound with hip hop and like hardcore and breakdowns? Like, you know what I mean? Like, and IRATE sort of did that. It was not, there was no hip hop. There was no hip hop or rhyming or rapping in IRATE's music, but there was a very New York hip hop a dimension to their music, and it made it very special and very particular, especially in this scene, in that particular scene where, you know, if you listen to Billy Club Sandwich, which I recommend you listen to if you want to know good hardcore, they are very much more in terms of beatdown, a hardcore band. It's a lot of, if you listen to it very carefully, you know, it's metal still, but it's very much more on the side of, I always looked at IRATE and Billy Club as two sides of a separate coin. Like Billy Club is sort of more on that hardcore side, in terms of like the way they sound, and IRATE kind of went more in that death metal, you know, with guitar leads and shit like that. And I always thought, like, I always sort of saw them on this, and they played all the time, and they were both from the Bronx. Like, they always played together. I remember seeing them at CBGB's, and it was always just absolute destruction. Those are shows that were, oof. Like, those were shows that if you went to them, you went with the assumption that you were gonna break a fucking eyeball. Like, there's no other way for me to say it. So they were just insanely brutal. And, you know, they were guys that, you know, you would see at shows all the time. I don't think I ever saw them at Red Zone, but like, you know, I saw them at CB's. I actually don't know if I've ever seen them more than once, because I think I got into them maybe more towards the end or whatever. And I definitely did not see them as much as I liked, but their shows were absolute fucking chaos. I mean, if you've ever been to a beatdown show, and I'm probably sure many of you probably haven't, or maybe you have. I mean, if you're gonna watch this video, you'll probably find it, whatever. But those were shows that were just an unbelievable amount of violence. You know, I say this all the time, like, metal pits are like whatever. Like, I just don't, they're just, I don't really participate in them, and I don't want to sound like a douchebag, but they're so mild. They're so mild, and you'll understand exactly what I'm saying if you've never been to a hardcore show or a beatdown show. Metal pits are just so unbelievably mild that going into them, I'll go into them once in a while. Like, now I'm old, so it doesn't matter. I'm like an old broken piece of crap who can't fucking hang because they're all young ass dudes who would crush me. But like, you know, it's unbelievably tame. If you've ever been to like any type of like a EGH show or Billy Club Sandwich, IRATE, that was next levels of violence and Armageddon. And you know, and again, when you're 17, 18 and you've got the rage of Sauron in your heart, you know, that's the shit that you want to listen to. And you know, the spin kicks and the windmills and all that shit. That's what happened, and whatever. I love that shit. I don't care. I'm not athletic enough to pull any of it off, but it is what it is, and I still like it. It's great. Whatever. I mean, it's too much for me now because whatever. I'm a soft old man, but it's still cool. So in terms of like what you should listen to, so they don't have that much stuff. They only have 2 full-length albums. I think I think they stopped playing in 2006. I haven't seen anything about them playing any shows recently. I wish that they fucking would. And if they did, I would fucking go in a heartbeat and safely stand in the back where all the old guys stand, because I don't want to get fucking I don't want to get fucking hurt. But I would go in a second. They're just that album. And I actually have it. I lost a jewel case, but like during one of the many moves in New York, you don't stay living in any apartment for more than like 2 years. Just that's how it is. It's just you know you're always trying to hunt for a good deal and trying to get like reasonable rent if you're not some kind of software developer or some tech douchebag. Like if you're just a regular dude and you work regular shit, you know what I mean. And if you don't have, you know, whatever, you're always just you're always just trying to find something better because it's so expensive to live here. So I've moved many times. But so I lost the jewel case, but I do have it in a Warzone case, which is beat up, whatever. It's a little bit beat up. I probably should take better care of my stuff, but I do have it here. Yeah, this is the one that I bought when I was in high school. High school? Shit. Yeah, man. Probably from like Bleecker Bob's. Bleecker Bob's or Generation on Thompson. But that record, I still listen to it. It's a miracle that it still plays. I mean, it's a miracle that it still plays, honestly. Because that's definitely a record that if the laser could burn through the CD, it would have been like I don't know how it plays still. Honestly, I have it on my Google Play and it's in all of my playlists. Any type of workout playlist, anything like that. I fucking love that record. I can listen to it 100 million fucking times. But I mean, so if you want to listen to something that's like insanely heavy and again something that's sort of underground and hard to find, I don't know. I mean, they have like I'm looking at Discogs, and there's one that's like for $40. They're kind of expensive. But you can actually find it on YouTube. If you go to the Discogs page and you go to their site, to 1134, any of the albums, they'll have it on YouTube, and you can listen to it and just do yourself a favor and listen to it if you like something heavy. You want to listen to something that's like a lot of grit and again is nested in sort of a New York grit, like underneath the metal is this sort of New York urban. Man, it's hard to describe it. It's just breathes New York. It's the same thing with Madball. Madball's got sort of that sound. It's an undeniable New York sound that you can't pinpoint it, but you know what it is. And IRATE has that sound while also being just killer, brutal fucking metal with breakdowns that will swallow your soul, because they're just great at and making heavy just destruction in terms of music and hardcore and beatdown or whatever you want to call it. But 1134 is definitely the album. That's a spicy meatball. You know what I mean? Like, it's fucking great. Every song on Gone, 1134, Awakenings, Day of Reckoning, CPR, Already Dead, Supremacy. My favorite is I want to say Transcendence and Dishonor. That's a fucking great song. I mean, it just and I think I want to say I think Supremacy. Okay, yeah, Supremacy has oh my god, how good. Martin from Billy Club Sandwich, great fucking song. And again, like they also have another album, like I said, it's a second album called New York Metal. I listened to it a couple of weeks back. I was gonna make this video like months ago or something, and I just became a lazy prick and didn't do it. But I did get a chance to listen to New York Metal, and this is another really, really good record. It's very obvious they're just talented musicians and they don't make bad stuff. I know their catalog is not big. It's not a big catalog, but it's still, in my opinion, the cream of the crop when it comes to beatdown hardcore. And again, you can argue that it's not hardcore, but I mean, they're in that vein. They sort of play with all those bands, or played with all those bands rather. And again, if you want a taste of New York City heavy shit, I would say pick it up if you can. If you can find it, I'd say pick it up because whatever, it's fine. It's great music. They also have and you can go on. There's a ton of stuff on YouTube. So there's actually a site. What is it called? There's a channel called Preserving Hardcore that has a full live set from 2003 in Massachusetts. I'm looking at it right now. They also have a Facebook page, so if you're a boomer and you're still using Facebook, which God knows why you would, but they got their shit over here. Well, let me see. Can you see it? Yeah, here you go. They got their Facebook. You can go on there. They don't post very often, but whatever. It's Facebook, and they put whatever. They put some memes out on there, and whatever. Yes, 100% accurate. And this is basically what every member looks like of every hardcore beatdown band that you can imagine. It's basically the uniform. I denounce and reject that Yankee hat, but everything else is accurate. I mean, maybe it's like 15 years, like maybe two, whatever. Anyway, I'm starting to babble on for no fucking reason. But yeah, you can check that out, which is kind of cool. They have, again, this channel, Preserving Hardcore, they have a lot of cool stuff with other hardcore bands and a website. Check it out. They got old hardcore shirts. You can find them. Here it is. There is, oh man, what is it? Here we go. This is the one I definitely wanted to show you. Crucial Chaos actually have a YouTube channel. I don't know if it's actually the guys, but they have full sets. Fucking Rejuvenate, that's crazy. EGH, Out of Line, IRATE, live on Crucial Chaos, Warzone in '96. There's a lot of cool full sets that you can watch on here, which I think is really cool. I kind of just throw these on when I'm doing shit in my room and just listen to cool old shit, because I'm an old man apparently. But yeah, so I mean, if you get a chance, listen to it. Again, it's really heavy New York City metal, hardcore, whatever you want to call it. Their shows were brutal. If they ever have a reunion show, I would advise you to go to it if you're in the area, if you can see it. I'm hoping they do a show soon. Obviously, right now that's out of the question because of this shit. Our city is in a fucking middle of a panic. I'm not working. You know what I mean? So it is what it is, and I think that's about it. That wraps it up. I kind of bullshitted for 18 minutes. But yeah, check it out. Listen to both records. Find some of the demos if you can. Something cool to collect. I'm going to try to probably find some of their stuff too. Now that I think about it, it would be cool to have and nice to have. Just because it's nostalgic for me. You know what I mean? So, anyways, I hope everybody's doing okay. Keep yourself safe. Don't go nuts. Don't kill each other out there. You can probably see my fucking mask right here. That's not a prop. I didn't put that there because of the changing of seasons. That's legit. Just to stay safe out there and don't eat each other. Try not to eat each other. Anyways, I am Avon Doom. That is keep fucking that up. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time, and stay safe, please, everybody.